Ferrari conjures up a very special imagery for anyone who knows even a little bit about cars. And while their history on the racetrack has been outstanding, it is their road cars that really keep them going. And while everyone gushes over their mid-engine supercars or their front-engine V12s, it is the entry-level drop-top that actually rakes in the big chunk of change. And now here is a new one, the brand new Ferrari Portofino.
Now I know as automotive journalists we aren't supposed to swoon over a particular car or a particular design, but just step back, put everything aside and look at this. The Portofino, in my opinion, and I do not say this lightly, this is today the prettiest car in series production in the world. I know the F-Type looks nice and the Vanquish looks really sexy, but in this color, in this spec, well, I might change the wheels because I think these are a little boring, but in this color, in this spec, the Portofino just looks absolutely perfect. Again, the prettiest series production car in the world. Now, Ferrari have been doing a lot of detailed work on their cars in the last couple of years. The 812 has a lot of them, the 458 and the 488 has them. And this again sort of continues that trend. So you get these nice vents around the headlamps which allow airflow to go through and come through the front wheel arch, and they come out, the air comes out of here. So you have like this low pressure area around the wheel arch, which of course increases downforce. But again, this car is all about looking pretty on that boulevard and not going as fast as you want around Monza or around the Nürburgring for that matter. And it does this so well. Look at these rear haunches. Reminds me of the 250 GTO. And even this little chink in the back reminds me of all those lovely classic Ferraris of the 60s. Of course, it's been a little dirty, as you can see. We've been going around the outskirts of Dubai in the Portofino, having a lot of fun, and that's exactly what I intend to continue to do so through this day. So, well, let's get in that, fire it up, listen to that lovely exhaust, and have a better day.
But first, before everything else, even though the idea of the roof down has a romanticized notion attached to it, I think I'll put it up. Because even with my love for drop tops, I think the Dubai heat and more importantly the dust is way too much to handle. And I really don't want to get this lovely interior all dusty either. Oh, and in the Portofino, you can put the roof up on the move, although only till about 20 km per hour, and it takes just 14 seconds. Talking about the interior, the first thing that strikes you is that clean and uncluttered look. Round jet-like AC vents, a simple horizontally oriented touchscreen in the center, and typically Ferrari gear selector buttons, and of course, a ton of carbon fiber. You do get the typically Ferrari steering wheel with the start button, headlamps, wipers, indicators, and of course the Manettino. That is the switch you can use to change driving modes from comfort to sport and to that absolutely bonkers ESC off, which turns off all the electronic aids to the driver. And although the steering wheel controls might appear to be very confusing, spend about an hour and a half behind the wheel and it all becomes second nature. All in all though, especially as compared to its predecessor, the Portofino is a much nicer place to be, especially if you spec it to the max with the right color, the right materials, the right seats, and some added unnecessary yet cool features like the passenger display.
So now that we've waxed lyrical about that beautiful exterior, and we've showcased that lovely carbon fiber festooned interior, let's talk about facts and figures when it comes to performance, because at the end of the day, this is a Ferrari, and although this isn't the fastest one that they make, it is still quick enough to blow your pants off. So let me quickly rattle out the specs. It's a 3.8 litre V8 twin turbo engine mounted up front like every GT should be. It makes 592 horsepower and 760 Newton meters of torque, which is, by any stretch of imagination, a lot of power. Now this thing isn't as quick as say a 488, so it does 0 to 100 in a very slow and pedestrian 3.5 seconds, and that by no means is actually slow. It is actually really nice and fast when you want it to be, but when you put this Manatino in comfort mode and settle down and you want to drive peacefully like I am now, especially considering the fact that it's 44 degrees outside. I'm in 7th gear doing 100 kilometers per hour, well within the speed limit in Dubai. It's a really, really comfortable car, and that is exactly what the Portofino is meant to do. This is Jekyll and Hyde, all wrapped up in a beautiful red body. It is two-faced. It is a comfortable car when you need it to be. It does make you look oh so good on that lovely main street boulevard in your city. And at the same time, if you do want to shift down a few gears and go for it, it still does that too. Especially when you turn it into sport mode and really let all those 592 horses rip out from those quad exhaust pipe setups at the back.
The Portofino is the kind of supercar that you can really drive daily. Mostly that is because it is very comfortable and rides really, really well, and also because it isn't very low and doesn't scrape at every pothole, bump and speed breaker you encounter. It is also because Ferrari have made sure you only get as much power and torque that you actually need. This means that you don't get all those 760 Newton meters of torque to begin with, as if you did, all you would end up doing is shredding your rear tires. It is quick, yes, but it is also very usable. In fact, it is as usable as your average compact SUV, albeit with a much nicer sounding exhaust and with a lot of drama once that roof goes down. As an entry-level Ferrari, though, the Portofino is very, very hard to criticize. When it comes to India later this year, with a price tag of about 3 crore rupees, we are sure that there are gonna be a fair few takers. The Portofino looks good, drives well, makes all the right noises, has all the drama of a cabriolet, and even makes a very bald and fat automotive journalist look good. What more could you possibly want?